Welcome back to your news. Holy Trinity Classical Christian School's Director of Advancement, Stephen Reed, is in the studio today. Stephen, first of all, let's get right into it. What brought you to Holy Trinity?
Well, I've been interested in classical Christian education for about a decade now. And when I worked for Prison Fellowship's founder, Chuck Colson, up in Northern Virginia, he talked about classical Christian education all the time. It was a new movement that was really catching fire across the country. And so I started picking up on that and wanted to learn about it. Got to go to a school out near Chicago in Wheaton, Illinois, and it was an experience I'll never forget. The students there were so engaged, so able to master information and present themselves so well. It was just like watching a bunch of law students, but they were in third grade. And so I got very excited about that, wanted to learn more about it. And when this position came open, I knew I had to try to get here and learn more about it.
Well, now that you've settled in a little bit, what is different than you expected, if anything?
Well, classical Christian schools are by their nature very rigorous academically. There's always a Christian ethos that permeates everything that is going on there. But I have to tell you, this school has such a warmth. It's like a great big family. The older kids befriend the little kids. Everybody's happy and learning. And I think it's about, the only equivalent I have is when I went to summer camp in West Virginia growing up at 4-H camp. Everybody is just having a wonderful time. They're wonderful at learning. They're good at socializing with one another. Everybody's very supportive of one another. So it's a family kind of experience.
Well, it certainly sounds like a whole wonderful experience. And you actually talk on the website about, there's a great quote, it says, educating the whole person. What exactly do you mean by that?
Well, you know, every school has to be competitive these days academically in order to prepare their kids for the future, whether they're going into college or careers. So we understand going in that intellectual growth is primary. But in order to foster that kind of intellectual growth, we have to take charge of the idea that students are more than just their minds. They're their hearts. They have a spirit, they have a soul. So emotional growth, social growth, spiritual growth, all those things are important too, and we don't want to neglect any of them. So for example, every single morning at Holy Trinity, students engage in morning chapel. We want them to focus on their spiritual lives so that they can really bring out their best with God's help in all other aspects of their life.
Well, as Holy Trinity's Director of Advancement, how exactly would you explain that school's fundraising approach? Is it different at all?
Well, it is different in that the thing that I keep hearing over and over again here, and it really is resonating with me, is that God will provide. That may sound very, spiritualized, but it's true. At Holy Trinity, we have had enormous help from major donors, small donors, corporate donors locally who have felt touched by God to invest in what we do at Holy Trinity. It's been very inspiring to watch. We want to do more of it.
Well, Stephen, I am sorry to say we are out of time, but thank you so much for joining us and for that great information.
Thank you very much.